For generations, the Beach Boys were the sound of endless summer, harmonizing about surf, sand, and innocent love. From 1965 to 1970, their infectious melodies dominated the airwaves, creating an undeniable soundtrack to the American dream. Their most famous song of that era, the majestic Good Vibrations, 1966, wasn't just a hit. It was a revolutionary pop masterpiece that set a new standard for studio production. But behind the sun-kissed smiles and perfect harmonies, a tempest was brewing. The Beach Boys were a family affair. Brothers Brian, Dennis, and Carl Wilson, cousin Mike Love, and friend Al Jardine, a lineup of 5 core members. This familial bond, however, became the source of their deepest tragedies and most bitter conflicts, eventually leading to a fractured legacy that continues to haunt them in 2025. The seeds of tragedy. Genius, madness, and drowning dreams. The seeds of their tragedy were sown early, largely within the mind of chief songwriter Brian Wilson. From 1965 onwards, Brian's innovative genius produced their most ambitious work, but it came at a devastating personal cost. He suffered severe mental health struggles, including auditory hallucinations and paralyzing anxiety, exacerbated by his father's abuse and intense pressure. He famously withdrew from touring in late 1964 to focus on studio work, inadvertently isolating himself and creating a rift with the rest of the touring band. The first major tragedy struck a decade later. In 1983, the charismatic drummer Dennis Wilson drowned at age 39. His death, a result of his ongoing struggles with alcohol and drug abuse, was a gut-wrenching blow, confirming the dark undercurrents beneath their sunny facade. His life, often overshadowed by his brothers, was a poignant testament to the destructive forces that fame and personal demons could unleash. The endless clashes. Brother versus brother, cousin versus cousin. The band never truly broke up in the traditional sense, but their history is a continuous saga of bitter lawsuits and internal feuds, primarily between Brian Wilson and Mike Love. These clashes revolved around songwriting credits, creative control, and differing visions for the band's sound. Mike Love often pushed for commercial surf rock nostalgia, while Brian sought ever more experimental directions. These conflicts escalated into complex legal battles over the band's name and royalties, effectively creating 2 separate Beach Boys entities at times. The infighting became so intense that attempts at full-scale reunions, while occasionally successful for short periods, were inevitably doomed by the deep-seated resentments and creative differences. The survivors in 2025. Brian Wilson, 82, lives a relatively private life, occasionally touring with his solo band. He remains revered as a musical genius but continues to battle health issues. He died on June 11, 2025. Mike Love, 84, continues to tour extensively under the Beach Boys name, performing hundreds of shows a year with a lineup of session musicians. He owns the legal rights to the band name and brand, a point of ongoing contention. Al Jardine, 82, performs occasionally with Brian Wilson's band or in smaller solo shows. He is often sidelined by the ongoing legal battles over the band name. Carl Wilson, died 1998, the youngest Wilson brother and the band's lead vocalist for much of their later career. Carl tragically passed away from lung cancer at 51. His death was another massive blow to the already fractured family. Dennis Wilson, died 1983, his tragic drowning remains a stark reminder of the personal demons that plagued the band.